Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I will be covering about writing Jenkins file and how can we create Jenkins pipeline job and what are the differences between freestyle and pipeline job. So without getting any delay, let's get started. And here is the guide on how you can create a Jenkins pipeline, what it is and what are the syntax for the same. So now here comes the major question that okay, I am already using freestyle job. Why should I be moving towards pipeline jobs? Here are a few points which I have listed, that code review and code can be iterated using any source code management. So a pipeline is written in form of code. You cannot just go to Jenkins server and click on UI and do stuff. There is a proper code which will be generated for a pipeline that can be reviewed by your seniors or anyone. I mean, anyone can review that. So that's a plus point, that you can review code without giving access to Jenkins, because in freestyle you need to have Jenkins access to view the job configuration. And again, the second point also verifies the same thing, that there can be multiple members who can do that. Next is that it can be easily maintained. Now let's say you have more than 10 freestyle jobs. If something happens to your Jenkins server, all your data, all your jobs will be gone. So in case of pipeline jobs, those things will stay in form of code in your source code repository. Jenkins pipeline do provide multiple feature integration using the DSL, basically domain specific language. Now this is kind of a syntax to write Jenkins pipeline. Before moving ahead, let me clear you that there are two ways of writing Jenkins pipeline. One is the scripted method and another is the declarative method. Now again, these are just the semantics to write the Jenkins pipeline, and they both have their own pros and cons. This is the syntax of writing the scripted pipeline. Similarly, these are the syntax for writing the Jenkins declarative pipeline. And I have noted a few differences in both, that in case of scripted pipeline, you will not get a feature to restart the Jenkins pipeline from an individual stage, where in declarative you get the same. But with the declarative, there is an issue. This one I have marked it right here, that code is longer than 495 lines, so it will start breaking with this error. Now it's always recommended to use the declarative syntax because it's easy for the user to understand, and this is what we will be writing. Now once you have your Jenkins declarative syntax code written, that code is definitely stored in some file, and this file is named as Jenkinsfile. I mean, you can name the file anything. These file in which you write the declarative or scripted code are known as Jenkinsfile. Now let's move towards writing our first Jenkins pipeline job. First, let us go into the Jenkins UI and create a pipeline job and see what's the difference we have. To create a pipeline job, you have to click on the new item button and type your job name. Let's say test pipeline job. And now instead of freestyle project, we will be selecting pipeline and hitting the OK button. But here in the bottom, there is a tiny option that you can write your pipeline script right here, and you can use that. Now again, the trigger options, the parameter options will remain same. It's just we have to write these things in form of code. So to generate a simple pipeline, you can see this tiny box right here in the corner. So here, if you select just create a hello world pipeline, it will automatically show you the syntax, like okay, this is the format you have to follow to generate a simple pipeline. Or you can select a complex method as well. These are the templates which are pre-written for you guys for like help purposes. Let's write our own code to make a simple pipeline job, and so let's directly jump into the code section, which is right here. Again, for the syntax, you can check out this link here, or you can check out this DSL, basically means domain specific language semantics, you can say. It has this documentation that has almost all the syntax for all the plugins in Jenkins. Now we are talking about pipeline job. We can click on this tiny drop down here that says pipeline job, and from here I can look for the options which I want to implement in my pipeline. Let's say I want to add a property that says adding the GitHub project URL. So I can click here and it will show me the syntax that okay, you can use the property block. Inside that you can use this GitHub project option like this. Now as for this documentation, I mean, you can anytime use this URL to see the syntaxes from your own Jenkins server. You just need to add this line like this code from here, plugin/job job/dsl at the end of your Jenkins URL. So let's say this is my Jenkins URL, and as soon as I add this line here, and as soon as you hit enter, you will be redirected to this documentation page that will look quite similar to this one, and from there you can like navigate these options to see the syntax. Now we have this basic syntax written right here, and let us copy this syntax from here and let me paste it here. I will be explaining each and every step for the same here. Now the first thing which we have written in this is pipeline. So pipeline block is of course a required block to write a Jenkins pipeline job, and this has basically everything that is a part of Jenkins pipeline. Now this has agent, this has stages and all these post actions and all these stuffs. Now the next thing which we have is agent. Now agent is the Jenkins agent on which the job will be executing. If you don't know how to add a agent, again a video will be hovering somewhere here or here in the I button, you can check that out. So currently I have written any means that any Jenkins agent which is free, feel free to execute this job on that. If you want to give a specific agent, you can follow this method. Just open a block, write the string label and provide the label name of the Jenkins agent on which you want to execute this job. Next which we have is stages. Again this is also mandatory required block. Now stages is the section where you can define multiple stages, and each stage has their own name and their own steps to do things. Now again stage is also a required block. Then we have to write stage. So stage is also required to write a Jenkins pipeline, and then we use this bracket with the double quotes or single quotes to define the name of the single stage. And stages block can have multiple stages. We will be going through a separate pipeline with multiple stage on the same soon. Then inside stage there is of course the name of the stage, and then we have the steps, and the steps block is actually the block where we have to write the actual plugin configuration, or you can say plugin syntaxes to execute. Let's say here I'm using the sh module, or you can say the sh step. So sh basically means shell script. Now if we want to execute any shell command in a Jenkins pipeline job, we use the sh module for the same. And again in the double quotes or single quote, I have defined that what are the commands I want to run. If there are multiple commands, I'm using the semicolon here. So I want to print this text echo test stage, then I want to run the pwd command, which basically shows the present working directory. Then I want to print the host name of the machine or of the agent on which the job is running. Now these are the content of stages block. Then there is another block which is post. Again post block is not required block in Jenkins. You can use it if you want to, but this is something that is act as a post action to your pipeline job. And in the post there can be 3 blocks. Those are like success, failure and always. So as the name suggests, success block will get executed if the execution of the pipeline is successfully completed. Failure block will get only executed if the pipeline is failing. And then we have the final, which is always, which get executed in every single condition. Now you can define multiple blocks in a single post section. Let's say if you want to use the success, failure and always in a single post block, it is completely allowed. You can do that. Now one more thing here to keep in mind, that it's not required or mandatory that a pipeline or a Jenkins file should always starts with the pipeline block. There can be some other things that can be written above the pipeline block. Let us execute this tiny pipeline which we have. Also the clean ws is basically coming from the plugin to clean the workspace once the job is completed. Now you can add multiple steps in post action that include sending an email, sending chat notifications, or triggering other projects, or saving the results or anything. It is already saved. Now this tiny button is just to make sure that we can use Groovy script directly in the pipeline, but you can ignore it as of now. It's not that required for beginner. Now let me save the changes. As you hit the build now button, now here you will see the difference. Let me wait until the job get completed. Here you see the difference that okay, this is coming in form of stages. Now this is something which is not happening in the freestyle jobs but happening in the pipeline job. The first stage which we have is named as stage name. Of course, we only give it, it is written in our code. Then the second stage it is have is the post actions, which we define right here. Here it has again all these parameter links and everything works same, that this is the last job, this is the last stable, successful and last completed job URLs. The thing which change is that it will display the execution time here. Then if you are running the job from an source code management repository, it will show that these are the number of commits which has done. Then it shows the timing of each stages right here and right here. And if you click on the logs, it will display what exactly the job has done. Now you can see the pipeline has printed the string, displayed the present working directory and printing the hostname of the machine. You can anytime go to the build specific configuration page. Now if you don't know what things which we have on a build configuration page, you can check out this video hovering somewhere here or here on I button and go to the console output. Now here is the entire output of the complete pipeline, which is saying that started by this user using this Jenkins agent, basically running the same machine where I have my Jenkins server hosted. Then it had started the stage. This is the stage name and sh is the step we are executing. Then these are the commands we have executed. Now here the stage is closing. Here the stages has like completely finished. Now here it had started the declarative post actions. Then it is cleaning the workspace because we have written the clean WS step there, and it has cleaned the workspace, and at the end it's saying success. So another difference between scripted and declarative pipeline is that these automatically post actions are not supported in scripted. You have to create your own post action there. And this restart from stage button is something which is also not present in the scripted DSL method. This is all about writing a single stage simple pipeline. Let's scroll a little to the blog and see. Here I have written this pipeline with multiple stages. Now this pipeline, again starting with the pipeline blog, agent is again any, can be executing, will be executing on any free agent. It has the stages block and it has multiple stages. First stage is saying build and it has some steps. Now echo is again a Jenkins module. So this echo is not something which is coming from shell script echo. This is Jenkins own module echo, which again do the same task for printing the string. The second stage which we have is the test string, which we have named as test, and it is again displaying the echo testing. The next stage which we have is the deploy, and here it is printing the deploy. This does not have any post actions, but we will be adding our own. So let's go back to the configure, scroll down and pasted the code here. Now outside the stages block, let's write a post action here. Now we want this post action to be executed every single time, so let's say always. And here again let's use clean WS, which basically means clean the environment once the job is completed. Let me save the changes, let me build it and let me refresh it. Now you see there are multiple pipeline formation has done here. The first stage is build stage, that is basically displaying building. Then the next stage which we have is the test stage. The next we have is the deploy stage, and at the end it is the declarative post actions. So this is how you can use the Jenkins pipeline job to write more sustainable pipeline than combining some freestyle jobs. And of course this has more features as well. Now there is another method as well. If we go to the configuration page and scroll a little down, so instead of pipeline script, you can define that use pipeline script from an source code management repository. So I have this GitHub repository right here named as Jenkins tutorial. So I will be copying this path from here and I will be using this Jenkins repository and saying that use this Jenkins file from this repository. So instead of none, let's say git, and here is the git repository URL, and of course it has the branch name as master, so we will be keeping it master, and script path. So here basically we have to define that where is my Jenkins script exist, or you can say where is my Jenkins file located on this repository. So my Jenkins file is located under jobs directory and it is named as first underscore Jenkins file. So it is under jobs and the name is first Jenkins file. So let me put it here, that go to the jobs directory and pick up the file name with first underscore Jenkins file. Let me save it. Let me build it again. The change you will see here is that there is another step which is declarative checkout SCM. Now this is also a feature which is coming itself from the descripted method, that whichever the repository you specified, it will automatically clone that for you. And then of course the stage name is the stage which we have given here, and then it is executing that sh command here, and then the declarative post action that will be cleaning the same. So we can check out the console of this one as well. You can see started by this, then obtained by, this is the Jenkins file URL and this is the repository, and here is the first checkout SCM method from where it has cloned the repository for us, and then it is again displaying the executing the sh script and doing the post actions. So these are all the methods to write your Jenkins file. There is a shortcut as well to create a Jenkins file code, which is again we have to go to the configuration page, and you can see this tiny little button here, pipeline syntax, from where you can automatically write code for your Jenkins pipeline. So just hit on this pipeline syntax button and you will automatically be redirected to this page from where you can generate your own pipeline script. On the left you can see all the URLs or all the helps you wanted for the official documentation, and here you can select the step or select the plugin you want to implement in your step. So what I mean by that is, let's say I want to send a mail and I don't know what is the syntax for the same, so I have to look for mail here. So as I hit the mail option, here you see it is asking me for all these parameters. So whom you want to send the mail, let's say test@xyz.com, then you can define the CC, BCC, and the subject for the same is test. Now as soon as you hit this button, generate pipeline script, it will automatically create the code for you that can directly be written inside a step. You can directly pick the generated code and put it inside the Jenkins step and it will work. So this is the shortcut to write your own Jenkins file in a really fast manner, I would say. I have covered pretty much everything, differences and writing a simple Jenkins pipeline job. If you think I missed anything, feel free to put it in the comment box, and if you like the video, share it with your colleagues. Do subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.